watching Good Morning Iowa in HD. We are Iowa's most accurate weather team. Good Morning Iowa starts now with breaking news.
And good morning, Iowa. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Elias Johnson.
And I'm Sabrina Ahmed. We turn now to a live news conference of some breaking news from overnight. 2 officers here in the metro were shot.
Community here in the Metro Des Moines area lost 2 officers. It started about 1:05 in the morning in Urbandale. Officers responded to reports of shots being fired in that area.
She is live outside at that location. Claire Bramer, what's the latest?
Yeah, Elias, we're up here just off of 70th in Aurora. I'm going to step out of the way and give you a look at the scene that's going on right behind me right now. We have Clive, West Des Moines, a bunch of police departments stepping in and blocking off this area where the first of the 2 deadly shootings happened. Just after 1 a.m. up here is where the Urbandale officer was shot while in his car. He has passed away. Subsequently, all of these departments have stepped in to help. Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation has also given Urbandale their resources right now. They're currently working the scene, trying to get everything under control here. We have not got any word if Urbandale's schools will be affected by this or not. We'll keep you updated on that situation. But over at the other location on Merle Hay Road and in Sheridan Avenue, that is where the other Des Moines police officer was found just before 1:30 this morning. Of course, like you heard in the press conference, right now they're searching for suspects, searching for who did this. There are police and Polk County Sheriffs, a lot of departments over at that scene as well, blocking off that road, and it will be blocked off for a while to come. Both officers killed in their squad cars in an ambush-style attack, like Sergeant Parizek said in the press conference. There is a clear and present danger out here for police officers, so a lot of these officers, they are armed, they are on guard, and they're working in pairs today, and they said that they'll probably continue to do that until further notice. But of course, as these details develop, we'll be talking to police officers who are out here at the scene, the public information officers for both Urbandale and Des Moines, and we'll keep you updated as we get more details. Elias.
All right, Claire Bramer out there live at the first location. Again, that was at 70th and Aurora, right next to Urbandale High School, which we are still waiting to see if that will impact school, because as Sergeant Parizek said, both locations are going to be locked down there as they continue to investigate.
Yeah, the other location is Merle Hay Road from Urbandale to Hickman Road. That area is closed indefinitely, so that could be causing some issues when you're trying to get to work this morning.
And as we heard this morning, officers working in pairs now, because there is a clear and present danger, Paul Parizek said, with Des Moines PD to police officers, and we continue to think about all those officers out there, and as soon as we get suspect information, we will of course get that out to all of you out there.
Yeah, we appreciate everything those officers are doing in a time when they, they have a lot on their hearts as well.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, everyone.
Continuing to follow developments, we are awaiting the newest developments in this officer shooting that's left 2 Metro officers dead, one from Urbandale, one from Des Moines PD. That's
right. We are continuing to receive more information about who did this, potentially why they did this. And we are still also trying to figure out who these 2 police officers are. Des Moines Police and Urbandale Police not releasing that information yet, but they say they will as soon as they are ready to. But for now, let's send it out to Jacob Pekla, who's live with some information on maybe who these people are and what police are trying to do to figure out the next steps.
That's right, Sabrina. I'm out here at the site of that second shooting that happened around 1:30 this morning, where there's not a whole lot of information that is out there yet about either the suspect or the vehicle description or anything else that would give some clues about this, except we know it was an ambush attack on both the Urbandale and the Des Moines police officer. What we do know at this point, though, is that Urbandale has body cameras for their police officers, and they've also got dash cam on both departments have that. So that is something that is going to be used for evidence as they try to narrow down some of the clues of what could possibly be happening right there. It is one of the more dangerous situations that these officers have dealt with. As Claire mentioned a little bit earlier, this is the 3rd Des Moines police officer that has been killed this year, and Urbandale itself is a very small department. It's got 50 officers on staff, so this is the first time they've had to deal with anything like this in a long, long time, and these 2 events just happening real close to each other. It's kind of scary. And, you know, as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the show today, both departments are not sending people out on solo work as it is. They're going out in pairs to prevent something like this from happening again. They know that these police officers are being targeted for whatever reason, and Parisa called them a little bit earlier today that these were cowardly acts that were taking place directed toward the police officers, and you don't really feel safe, but they got to keep going out there and doing their job. They're going to continue to search this area. It's been blocked off. It will be throughout the morning, could be for several hours more. And as they continue to develop clues, they're going to be seeking the public's input to see what kind of final information they can gather. We'll have the next press release, next press conference rather, coming about 10 o'clock, and we'll be sure to bring you updates coming up at midday and later on our newscast as well. But for now, reporting in Des Moines, Jacob Pekla, Local 5 News. We are Iowa. Back to you.
Jacob, thank you very much. Both Jacob and Claire out there reporting for us. Once again, 2 officers shot, 1 Urbandale police officer, 1 Des Moines police officer, both killed. And Sergeant Paul Parisic from Des Moines Police saying that there is a clear and present danger out there for police officers. So we'll be keeping them in our thoughts and prayers as we continue to bring the public the most important information that you need to know, not only as you're waking up this morning, but throughout the rest of the day.
Probably one of the most difficult press conferences we've seen from Paul Parisic as his time as PIO.
Fighting back
visibly
emotions.
Very upset, as understandably so. Scott Green is in custody, accused of shooting 2 officers, killing them both. He was arrested near the town of Redfield, just south of Redfield in Dallas County, by the Iowa State Patrol as well as the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. We do have a crew down in that area now. We're going to continue coverage with them momentarily, but we want to make sure we continue to move on as well and ID the unfortunately, the officers who were killed.
Yeah, so the 2 officers, first off, was an Urbandale police officer. His name is Justin Martin. He's right there on the right-hand side. He was the officer who was killed, we believe, first at 1:06 this morning. The responding officer from Des Moines was Sergeant Tony Beminio. He was killed about 20 minutes after Officer Martin was killed. Officer Martin was killed near 70th and Aurora in Urbandale. Tony Beminio, Sergeant Beminio, was killed near Merle Hay and Sheridan. Both of those scenes are clearing up now, but we got some more insight into who these people were. Justin Martin, recently a graduate and new hire to Urbandale Police, was just recently able to go out on patrol on his own. Sergeant Beminio, someone who's been with Des Moines Police since 2005, a father, a family man, 2 people who will absolutely be missed by many people, not only within our community, but also in their own families.
Local 5 News at 10 in HD starts now. We are Iowa.
Ambush on the badge.
There was absolutely nothing either one of these officers could have done to prevent this.
I can't fathom what's going on.
2 police officers, one an Urbandale rookie just starting his career, the other a veteran of the DMPD, just promoted to sergeant, who loved his family and his job.
He's a great guy in this department, a good friend to a lot of us, a fantastic family man. It's just really hard to lose Tony.
Tonight, the lives of the fallen and the man who's accused of opening fire.
Whoever the coward is that shot him while they sat in their cars.
We take you into the 8-hour manhunt for the suspect, Scott Green.
He hasn't moved. He's still laying on the ground, spread eagle, face down.
Local 5 uncovers the videos that show what could have led the suspect to snap.
Turning now to a community in mourning and really in shock tonight. It's a moment that rocked the world of 2 police departments. For the first time ever, the Urbandale Police Department lost an officer in the line of duty. For Des Moines, it was the 2nd incident of the year. Local 5's Amanda Krenz is live outside the Urbandale Police Department, where the outpouring of support is huge. Amanda?
And Jack, the growing memorial is right behind me here at the Urbandale Police Department. There are so many people streaming in now, a lot of them getting off of work, and in many cases, even bringing their children to pay their respects. In fact, there was a whole young soccer team that just approached the car. It's definitely touching to see this. It's also very tough, as this is obviously a metro area, a community that has been devastated, but also is showing so much respect for these 2 gentlemen who lost their lives this morning.
I'm told by neighbors that it appears as though Officer Martin's patrol car was taking a turn right here onto 70th. He was parked right here in between these 2 crosswalks. Now, we did hear from Urbandale Police today, and they tell us that it appears as though the suspect, Scott Green, walked right up to the patrol vehicle and shot between 15 and 30 rounds We'll listen now to the police chief as he recounts what he believes happened.
I wouldn't call it a confrontation in that I don't think he may even ever been aware that there's a gunman next to him.
And now about 20 minutes after the call at 70th and Aurora came in, another call came in for shots fired at the corner of Merle Hay Road and Sheridan. That's where you'll find us now. This is where Sergeant Anthony Beminio of the Des Moines Police Force was shot. He was then taken to Methodist Hospital where he later passed away. As you can see right here, there is a memorial that's been set up for Sergeant Beminio. Now, we aren't sure how Scott Green traveled the 2-mile distance to the corner of Sheridan and Merle Hay. We'll, of course, continue to follow that. But take a listen to what Sergeant Parisic says was a complete ambush of the officer.
I can tell you that based on what I've seen so far, there was absolutely nothing either one of these officers could have done to prevent this or to save themselves once it started.
We are freshening up the numbers, and we want to start on the Democratic side, where we're now up to 66% of the precincts reporting. Hillary Clinton's gap over Bernie Sanders has gone down from 3% to 2 percentage points. She's at 51, Bernie's at 49, and Martin O'Malley rounding to 0.
And we've seen some pretty significant movement in the Republicans with 51% of precincts reporting. Ted Cruz is at 29%, Donald Trump at 25%. But look at this, Marco Rubio starting to creep up on the two frontrunners. He's at 21% right now. Again, that's 51% of precincts reporting. Then it drops down to Ben Carson at 10%, and Rand Paul 4%, Jeb Bush 3%. Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, and Mike Huckabee all at 2% with 51% of precincts reporting. Chris Christie also at 2%, Rick Santorum at 1%, and Jim Gilmore at 0%. And we wanted to learn also a little bit more about that word we've been using all night, and that is turnout.
Yeah, let's send it over to Lucas Casey, who's in the Instant Results Center, talking about historic turnouts. Lucas?
Well, yeah, we're going to look at historic turnout, and I want to talk about it in the context of what we're expecting tonight. We've heard a lot about turnout, and those numbers you see rolling on the bottom of the screen on the Republican side, that is turnout. Those are votes. They're going to add those up around the state. On the Democratic side, it looks proportionately lower. That's because they're counting delegates. We won't know Democratic turnout until the Iowa Democratic Party tells us about it later. But let's look at what perhaps we can expect based on some historical data. Let's go back to 2004. This is when we had a contested Democratic caucus. This taller line, this dark blue, 533,000 registered Democrats going into the caucuses. Turnout is this lighter blue bar, just about 23%.
Stephen, what's your reaction to Martin O'Malley dropping out, A, and B, what does that mean for his supporters?
It's a little unusual to drop out at this particular moment. Usually you wait until people have, said thank you for voting for me, and then you kind of bow out. So jumping off the ship, while it's still not in port is kind of strange. And his supporters, I guess, if they're listening to this and they're planning to vote, I don't know if it's too late for them or not, but they don't have a candidate anymore. They're going to leave their corner and run over somewhere else, and join Hillary or
lots
Bernie
of
Sanders.
offers for apple pie.
That's right.
Well, that's interesting too, because O'Malley's been in like a 4% or 5%.
Yeah.
He's got a 0.5% tonight. So those people have gone.
They went elsewhere.
What's the best guess?
Yes.
Well, he was never going to have viability.
They already ran. And
right.
Bernie Sanders is actually doing remarkably well. I mean, it's very, very close. And I think right now, at least if this holds, Hillary Clinton really should be embarrassed about the results. I mean, it's too close. She was 70% ahead in, in popularity and acceptability and so on. And that's not good.
Well, we're down here at Cruz's headquarters, where the crowd is about twofold from what it was just a matter of minutes ago. I would say 15 minutes ago, there were maybe 100 people here. People are flooding in the door as we speak.
Today is Founders Day here at Local 5, and we are celebrating the 20th year of our parent company, Nexstar Broadcasting. And one of Nexstar's big goals is giving back to our local community.
When folks come out and volunteer for Habitat, they're making a difference.
Listen to your heart.
We're gonna go get hard hat, safety glasses on, and then we'll get our day underway.
Gotta match the outfit,
Ready.
North Wall.
When's the last time you wore a hard hat?
Probably since high school.
Brings me back again.
Founders Day here at Nexstar, and I might make this I've always wanted to do Habitat for Humanity, so this might get me started in that because I love to build things. I'm a handyman.
I love them. They're all being involved, and they're all very busy. So that's what we ask every day of people.
142. Hey, we're having fun. Like we should.
There's a strength about us. We both understand.
What do you think?
I think it's a great day to build a home.
Yeah. Let's build two. When you help somebody, you give them a hand up, but it changes their life, and that's rewarding.
We really love to have you out here.
Trust me when I say everyone has been working very hard all morning.
They physically had to pull Brad Edwards off his ladder. He would not stop working today. Of course, this is his bread and butter. Stephanie Engelson's here now, so the second shift crew's starting to show up.
Stephanie, earlier it was you and I banging some nails together, and how did we do today at Local 5?
Oh, Jack, I'd say we all did pretty well considering, you know, we're used to our desk jobs, right? Not picking up hammers, but as you all know, there's so much that goes into building a home. There's the money, there's the time, there's the manpower. Habitat for Humanity has a great system of getting all these things brought to the table at the lowest cost possible.
We count on volunteers like yourselves to get the work done and done right.
Now these eyes can see you, how this love can bleed you.
Everybody left today feeling a sense of accomplishment, and that's why working with Habitat for Humanity has been such a great experience. We know we're doing important work, and I'm joined by Jenna Ekstrom right now from Habitat, and today went really well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was great. You guys did an awesome job.
I'll cheers you to that.
Cheers to that.
And
It's
encourage,
been fun.
Yeah.
And
come on out if you haven't done this before.
Great. It's an honor to work with a lot of folks that care this much about their community.
We'll be out volunteering all day long. This is Founders Day. We're celebrating the 20th year of our company, Next Star.
South of the metro, we are in Norwalk. We had to change over to stick mics because it's just that loud here. Sitting alongside Jordan Furby, I'm Elias Johnson. Welcome to a huge matchup. Our game of the week, it is Norwalk welcoming in Pella, the Dutch. Both teams undefeated. This is a huge game.
Absolutely huge, and I couldn't ask for a better crowd for my first Blitz game day experience. They are loud, they are ready. It may be early, but they are awake and they are ready for an upset. Pella comes into this game winners of 34 in a row, 45 of their last 46. Norwalk is no slouch either. They've won 18 of their last 20. Of course, those two losses are to the Dutch, so they are definitely focused on avenging those losses and getting after it tonight. It's a 2 versus 3 matchup, as you said. Both teams undefeated, and the winner of this one firmly moves into the driver's seat for a district championship and the #1 seed in the playoffs. We only know that only 2 teams get into the playoffs this year, so this is a big game tonight.
And it's a very respectful student body here behind us. They've been loud, and now they're kind of quiet. Can we get loud again, you think? They're ready to go. Some of them not used to being up this early. We got much more Blitz Game Day coming at you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Sabrina?
oh my gosh, I can hear them loud and clear. Yeah. You guys look like you're having fun. Did you hear my request to bring back donuts?
Your donuts are going fast, and they are delicious from Hy-Vee this morning.
I would not count on one being left.
You guys have fun out there. We'll check back in with you in a few. Sam, it's cold, which is why they're inside.
By the way, yeah, it's not raining out there. What a bunch of chickens being in the gymnasium. It's not raining.
This is where it gets real. Dan Corey, your chance to make a big pick. Who are you going with tonight?
It should be a great game, Elias, and I got to go with my hometown team, Boone High. As my boy Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. I'm going with the hometown Tigers, baby. Go,
Go! 61 miles and over 3,000 feet of climb. Before today, never done anything like that before on a bicycle. One thing's for sure, though. If you ride an entire leg of RAGBRAI, there is a lot that you see.
This is awesome. This is great. I'm very excited, and she wants to do it next year.
How many you gone through?
35. I'm getting that. He's getting 52. Okay.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Diagonal.
You know what, when you show up and they have the band at the beginning of the town and they're welcoming you and telling you facts, that's amazing, and you know they want you here.
Right.
tough is that hill with the longboard?
Not easy, but the down makes it worth it.
What do people say to you when they come across you?
Oh, thighs of steel. You're the man. You're such an inspiration.
We are.
They just say really nice things, and it all means a lot to me. So
good for you.
Keep me going.
Bikers turn left. Turn left.
I'll be saying bikers turn left in my sleep all night.
Hi, I'm a banana. Banana.
Welcome to our house. Enjoy yourself.
And just like we've done all week, we're going to do it again tomorrow, all the way to Centerville. Luckily, not as big of a climb, but a few more miles than today. Either way, we'll take you along for the ride. In Leon, Elias Johnson riding RAGBRAI, Local 5 News. We are Iowa. And we hate goodbyes here in the town of Leon. This is the last chance for locals to say, thanks for coming, everybody. They certainly appreciate every single person that has come through. The furthest distance I heard of anybody so far this morning, the Netherlands, which goes to tell you just how many people think this ride is important, and they come back every single year.
You're watching Local 5 News at 6 in HD. We are Iowa's most accurate weather team, and we start with your forecast first.
Well, hi, everyone. Been kind of a dreary day out there, but at least temperatures have been on the mild side. We're in the 60s. Most of the rain is gone now. We had about 1/10 of an inch. We are going to see clearing skies tonight and some really nice weather tomorrow. The sun returning, and the sun's going to stick around. We'll be around the mid-60s tomorrow afternoon, and it gets warmer in your forecast coming up.
Local 5 News at 6 in HD starts now. We are Iowa.
Families, entire soccer teams, people of all walks of life are showering their support on the grieving Urbandale Police Department. They bring gifts of flowers and food to add to this growing memorial. It's a touching reminder of today's tremendous loss and the incredible way Iowans pull together in times of tragedy.
Yes, a very dark day here in the Metro. And good evening and welcome to Local 5 News. I'm Jack Miller.
And I'm Stephanie Engelson, and we do thank you for being with us on this very sad day. Tonight, in-depth coverage, an ambush on the Badge. These are the fallen, the two police officers gunned down in the line of duty this morning. Des Moines Sergeant Tony Beminio and Urbandale Officer Justin Martin. Police say neither of them had a chance to defend themselves, and they were shot by the same man. Police have arrested this man, Scott Green. He's in custody, but in the hospital right now. Now, this all unfolded just after 1 a.m. in two different locations.
Yeah, the two shooting locations are just 2 miles apart, one in Des Moines, one in Urbandale. The first crime scene was here, 70th and Aurora. Police say Officer Justin Martin was gunned down while sitting in a squad car. He was not on a call for service. Police say the gunman just walked up and started shooting. You can see from the crime scene video it was dark and it was rainy. Then 20 minutes later, police say Green opened fire on a Des Moines police officer here at Merle Hay and Sheridan in Des Moines. They're not sure how Green got from the first scene to the second. You can see the bullet holes in the car and the word sergeant on the side of that cruiser where Tony Beminio was shot. Investigators think Green opened fire on him here and Beminio never saw it coming. Then Scott Green went on the run for 8 hours.
Urbandale schools never opened today, and the manhunt ensued after police put out the All Points bulletin for Scott Green. Green eventually showed up in Dallas County in Redfield. Here's the 911 call of him giving himself up.
Subject in custody. Confirm that this is the suspect we're looking for. At this point, this is confirmed. This is confirmed. EMS is en route. We do not have a location on the suspect's vehicle.
Officials captured Green just south of Redfield in Dallas County near the intersection of 320th Way and G Trail. Police say Green gave himself up to a Department of Natural Resources employee. He showed his ID and ended the chase due to a medical condition. After he was taken to the hospital, officials blocked off the roadway and spent the day in the field searching for any evidence.
Well, here are the photos again of the officers who are lost. Officer Justin Martin was shot first in Urbandale. Sergeant Anthony Beminio was shot second, just 2 miles away. Shortly after they were identified as the victims, we heard stories of the kind of men they were. 24-year-old Justin Martin served many roles in his time on the Des Moines Police Department, but we're told he was especially proud of this, working on the tactical team. He was also a very well-respected resource officer at Roosevelt High School in Des Moines schools. Local 5's Elias Johnson joins us now from the Digital Media Center with more on the life of Justin Martin.
24-year-old Justin Martin was one of the newest additions to the Urbandale Police Department. He completed his training in August, and since then, since the 22nd, has been patrolling the streets with high expectations. That, according to the chief today in the press conference. Now, as we look back at who this man was, we turn to social media, and that's where we find something rather significant. One of his only public posts that you see on his Facebook wall is dedicated to Jamie Bunting. He, too, was an officer in Rockwell City, where Justin grew up, and he lost his life 3 years ago. But in the post, Justin thanks Jamie, saying he was lucky enough to be able to be taught by him on how to use a handgun. Jamie Bunting was one of the firearms instructors at the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy, where Justin Martin graduated from after completing college at Simpson College. In the Digital Media Center, I'm Elias Johnson, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
And Officer Martin was very involved in his community at Simpson College. He graduated from their law enforcement program. Tonight on Local 5 News at 10, we'll hear from some of his former professors.
Of the second officer who lost his life, Des Moines Police Sergeant Anthony Beminio. We were told today he goes by Tony, and he was a very popular officer. Sergeant Beminio has been with the Des Moines PD since 2005. He has served in many roles, including the SWAT team, and was recently promoted to sergeant. And he was well known for his work as a resource officer in Des Moines schools, a job where he made a true difference.
Great guy, wonderful with students, fair-minded. We love our SROs, though. They're just valuable in our building.
Yeah, he made a great connection with our staff and our kids. Fair-minded, worked with integrity and fairness. He was just a wonderful human being. Great police officer, but an even better man.
And Sergeant Paul Parisic with the Des Moines Police Department was visibly upset today talking about Sergeant Tony Beminio. He said losing Tony was very difficult. Those were his words. Sergeant Beminio leaves behind a wife and children.
And that's tragic. The two officers killed today were both heavily involved in their communities.
That's right. We've mentioned the support these men received from their brothers in arms, but that's not all. The entire metro community is really coming together.
I can't fathom what's going on. They they're working and they're trying to keep us safe, and I just feel devastated for them. I mean, they lost a member of their family.
Well, thank you. What's that like to have that?
I think everybody feels pretty helpless, and I think no one knows what to do to make it better, and so this is their way of showing us support, and it's greatly appreciated.
It's pretty hard to see, to be honest. And, you know, you hear about these things, but you never expect it to happen to your community, especially, you know, in the way that we all paint Urbandale to be such a wonderful place to live, and it is, and we just don't expect these things. I had to do something. It wasn't much, but I had to do something. Just can't stop worrying about, you know, the family of that individual that did die, and our thoughts and prayers are with both police departments and both Justin and Tony's families, but it doesn't make it any easier.
And tonight we have new information about the suspect who police arrested in connection with these two shootings.
Again, Scott Michael Green is considered the main suspect. Here's his photo again. Local 5's Amanda Krenz has more tonight on who exactly Scott Green is. She is live outside the Urbandale Police Department with an update.
Jack and Stephanie, before I talk more about the suspect in this case, I have to acknowledge what is happening all around me here at the Urbandale Police Department. As you've seen, this is an incredible memorial behind me that has grown exponentially throughout the day. When I was here at 5 o'clock, I said people were streaming in. They were getting off work, coming by, paying their respects. people have flooded the parking lot. They're being a little camera shy right now because they don't want to be behind the they don't want to be in front of the cameras, rather. But what they're doing is lining up, they're giving hugs, and they are shaking hands with the Urbandale officers who are out here. We're seeing grown men in tears. We're seeing little kids whose eyes are looking around, not really understanding, but knowing that this is a really significant occasion. So people of all kinds just coming out here to pay their respects. It is quite remarkable indeed. Now, more about the suspect in this case. Today, the Urbandale police chief said in his news conference that Scott Green may have had a military background. That's something they're going to look into. The chief said that he didn't know how Scott Green acquired his weapons, and he did say weapons with an S. He said he believes that he had more than one gun. Again, something they're definitely going to be looking into. Police said that Scott Green is definitely no stranger to this Urbandale Police Department. Scott Michael Green is a 46-year-old man from Urbandale. Police say they knew him.
We're familiar with Mr. Green from our years of service. Most of the officers that have been in the city have some understanding of Mr. Green, yes. They've taken trips to his house or delivered service to him, never to anything of this extent, though.
It also appears Scott Green has a YouTube account where he's posted a few videos. One video is a photo of him holding an American flag and Confederate flag at a high school football game. In another video from the same day that appears to be recorded by Green, police refer to him by name at an Urbandale high school football game and tell him he was causing a disturbance inside of the stadium by flying a Confederate flag.
I was standing there as a peaceful person.
You weren't disruptive in any way?
Absolutely not. I was standing there.
Mr. Green, I've got several individuals that came down and said you were causing a disturbance inside of the stadium. That's why we asked you to leave the stadium.
I walked down and I stood there and I held up a flag.
In this video, Green claims he was assaulted while he was in the stands and wants police to file a report.
I did not want to cause any disruption at all.
But you have to understand.
I was peacefully protesting.
You have to understand in the current social climate that we're in, when you fly a Confederate flag standing in front of several African American people, that's going to cause a disturbance, okay? Whether you intended to or not, you have to understand. I'm not saying I never said it wasn't your right.
Constitutional right.
We have some information from Polk County District Court today that we want to share with you. Scott Green was in court with his mother just yesterday. Now, this court order that we saw said that Green abused his mother, and now he has to pay $10,000 to her because he financially exploited her. This court order says that he committed elder abuse against his mom, both physically and financially, and he was ordered to move out of the home that they both live in. Reporting live in Urbandale tonight from the site of this remarkable memorial, I'm Amanda Krenz for Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
All right, Amanda.
Amanda, thank you so much. We will check in with you as we get new details about Scott Green.
And with today's shooting deaths of 2 Metro police officers comes the natural question, what kind of person does this? As with the tendencies of any type of criminal, law enforcement tries to profile them, but that's tricky. I talked earlier today with a former FBI profiler who says people who go out to deliberately shoot police officers are frequently frustrated over run-ins with the law and the feeling that they've been treated unjustly.
If you add to that people who feel like they've been aggrieved by the police, both in an arrest situation and maybe in other settings like the Facebook post outside the high school stadium, people like that tend to then justify that law enforcement, for whatever reason in their mind, is corrupt, illegitimate, whatever it might be, and that they feel like they need to take the power into their own hands to eliminate people.
And he adds that many shooters of cops have drug issues and mental health problems, but that the trigger is often that feeling of unjust treatment. He says it's tough to catch someone before they try to shoot a police officer. Although they may be disgruntled, they may even speak or post about it, they usually haven't done anything illegal leading up to it. And we'll be right back.
You're watching Local 5 News at 6 in HD with Jack Miller, Stephanie Engelson. We are Iowa's most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards. and Local 5 Sports with Sports Director John Schaefer. This is Local 5 News at 6. We are Iowa.
Welcome back. A hard day in the metro, and oftentimes in dark moments like these, there is great support in numbers.
Yeah, tonight a metro church is holding a prayer vigil to help us all work through this grief. Local 5's Krista Burris is live in Urbandale with more.
The prayer service just got underway here at the Urbandale United Church of Christ. Dozens of people have gathered in the sanctuary, and coordinators say they're putting it on because the community requested it. They're taking a stand against violence while also trying to show support for the families of the officers. It'll be going on here for another half hour or so. Live in Urbandale, Krista Burris, Local 5 News.
Krista, thank you, and we will check back in at the memorial tonight at 10.
Time to switch gears now and talk about weather, and kind of a gloomy, dreary day today, Brad, but it sounds like yet again we're going to come out of this into some great weather.
We are. I mean, the sun is going to shine again tomorrow, and the temperatures are going to warm up. It's hard to believe we're heading into November. The first weekend of November. We'll take a look at the numbers coming up, so stay tuned.
We are Iowa's most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards, certified by WeatherRate, the independent weather experts.
Welcome back, everyone. Still gray skies over Des Moines. We've had a few breaks, though, in the clouds, and that'll continue tonight. Looking on the Orton Home Sky Cam, it is at least comfortable temperature-wise. We're at 63 degrees, cloudy skies here in Des Moines, and it's going to cool off tonight, but not dramatically, kind of gradually cooling back to the 50s and then the 40s. We got east-northeast wind on the light side, so it's going to be one of those quiet nights out there as the clouds break up. No rain to speak of in central Iowa. We got a few showers left over in northern and northwestern Iowa, and that's where we will see maybe a few sprinkles, but otherwise no more rain. We had very little rain go through central Iowa, less than 1/10 of an inch in both Ames and Des Moines. Heavier amounts in eastern Iowa, Burlington up to 1.33 there, and Davenport at 1,500. So Cedar Rapids over an inch too. We're looking at temperatures right now. We're in the 50s and 60s. We will be cooling down gradually tonight. Low 60s right now in central Iowa. Here's what we got for tomorrow during the day, though. Starting off in the 40s, right? It's going to be a cool start, crisp, then warming up back into the 60s. I think we'll be around 68 in Des Moines. Lots of sunshine, and it looks like a great night tomorrow night for some football. Of course, the Sooners are coming in town to play a Thursday night game in Ames. Around 60 degrees at kickoff, so pretty comfortable out there. Clear, cool conditions with light winds, and those winds are going to be on the light side. You can see fans will be having a good time out there. The winds will be about 5 miles per hour and dropping off, so not a bad night at all. As we look at the forecast for the highs heading into the weekend, this is unbelievable. These are more like September highs. We're talking close to 70 degrees on Friday, low 70s on Saturday. Again, we got a couple of sunny days here. A few clouds on Sunday, and if we get sunnier than this, we'll be warmer maybe, but 68, I mean, come on, that's pretty warm. That's about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than average for the next couple of days here. Well, all the rain has now moved to the east, or at least most of it has. They've had some thunderstorms in Illinois, even some severe storms there. At least a couple of warnings issued. Those are moving off quickly to the east, and we are going to see dry conditions. We could have used some rainfall. There's a really dry spot here in south central Iowa. They could definitely use some rain. Unfortunately, we have to wait again before any more rain comes in, and actually the 10-day forecast doesn't show much. We got a lot of sunshine tomorrow, and we'll keep that sun going until I said like Sunday. That's when we'll have some cloudiness moving in, and no rain really until Monday, and that chance is looking pretty low as far as any appreciable rainfall. So for tonight, we are looking at clearing skies, cooler, calmer, 46 for the low. Tomorrow looks pretty good. Lots of sunshine, 68 degrees as we go through Thursday afternoon. 71 on Friday, 72 Saturday. Sunday, we set the clocks back. Of course, it'd be Saturday night when you go to bed. Usually people do that. We got clouds around, but still a nice day. The rain chance is about 30% on Monday. Doesn't look like we're going to get much. Voting on Tuesday looks pretty good. Temperatures will be cool, but it's going to be a nice November day. And here's your 10-day tracker. You're thinking at some point we're just going to fall off the cliff, but there's no cliff there, Stephanie. It's still in the 60s and maybe even another 70 next week.
Yeah, that beautiful fall weather we only think we usually get a couple weeks of.
You're
We've
right.
had a lot of this.
Oh, we have. So just be thankful.
Yeah, a lot to be thankful for. All right, Brad. Thanks. Jack?
Well, thanks, Stephanie. Okay, Cubs fans, this is it. Tonight is Game 7 of the World Series. It's all on the line, and when we come back in sports, we'll get you ready for the game.
Now, Local 5 Sports with John Schaefer. We are Iowa Sports.
After celebration, really, Tuesday night for Cubs fans here in Iowa, this morning was truly a day of shock, disbelief, and surprise, and a lot of mourning going on as well. It's a reminder of just how insignificant sports truly is in the grand scheme of life, but at the same time, sports can be a reminder of the joys that come out of it, and a nice break from the harsh reality that is the evil that can shock this world on certain days. Now, Game 7 tonight, there is a lot of excitement around this game, especially here at Principal Park, and for good reason. The World Series, Addison Russell shocked everyone with 6 RBIs last night against the Cleveland Indians to force this to a 7th game. The Cubs trailed in this series 3-1, so it was a great showing for them, and they'll look to do more of the same tonight. Of course, Chris Bryant having some great at-bats as well. But really the question is, can they maintain that spark by their offense? Well, they'll approach tonight's game with the same exact mindset.
I mean, anybody who plays this game, you know, grows up dreaming of winning a World Series, and, you know, we to play in a Game 7 tomorrow. That's pretty special. So, I mean, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves when we were down 3-1. It was, take it a game at a time and try to get to Game 7. And tomorrow we're going to be there. And it's nice to kind of build off of these last 2 games with the momentum. And, today, obviously, with the offense is pretty special. And then our pitching was unbelievable. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
It's going to test both teams, I think. Tomorrow is a day that, you kind of have to put it out all on the table. I wouldn't even say the luckiest is going to win is the people that, come up in the big situations, the guys that make the routine plays, and the guys that make the spectacular plays to avoid the big inning.
So the Cubs trying to win their first ever World Series, at least since the early 1900s. It should be a lot of fun out in Cleveland tonight. That game starting on Fox at 7 p.m. is the first pitch. Come on down to the Principal Ballpark. There's a ton of people out here taking in this game. They're very excited to see if their Cubbies can bring one home. Reporting from Principal Park, I'm John Schaefer, Local 5 Sports. We are Iowa. We'll be right back. You're watching Local 5 News at 6.
All right, today was a gloomy day, but the sun returns tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be out most of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and probably even a little bit Sunday, but some clouds moving in. But look at those temperatures, close to 70 or above every day. A little rain possible Monday, but not much expected.
Wow. It goes on and on.
It does.
We know it will end, so just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad. We'll see you at 9 on CW and back here at 10.